the question, you allow wait time, the children write down their thoughts, and then they. Hello, welcome to Pause for Education on Aminu Rights TV. In this discussion, we are going to take a look at 10 simple assessment for learning strategies. 10 simple assessment for learning strategies. Assessment for learning is a form of assessment which is done for the purpose of learning. It is done to encourage learning. It is done whilst the learning process is going on. That is an assessment for learning. It is a form of formative assessment. You know, there are two types of assessments: summative and formative. Assessment for learning is a kind of formative assessment. Now, there are 10 simple strategies you can use in assessment for learning. So, whilst the lesson is going on, there are some simple 10 strategies you can use to improve learning. 1. You can use think, pair, share. Think, pair, share. Now, using this strategy, the teacher pose a question. Now, allow some wait time. Students discuss the question, and student writes it down, and the student say the answer to the student tells the class the answer. So simple. You give the question, you allow wait time, the children write down their thoughts, and then they tell the entire class the answer. The next strategy is think, pair, square. Think, pair, square. Now, just like the think, pair, share, in this strategy, the teacher poses a question, allows some wait time, but in this situation, the children don't tell the entire class the answer, but they tell their colleagues the answer. Yes. So he can tell the colleagues in the same group, or you tell those in other groups. So he doesn't tell the entire class. The next assessment for learning strategy we'll be looking at is the hand signal. The hand signal. Now, the hand signal is a strategy, is in fact an interesting strategy where the teacher uses to show students level of understanding, to show students ability to understand, the students inability to understand, and to show at which level the student is during a lesson. So for instance, thumbs up, so like this, is used to indicate that I understand and I've gotten whatever you are teaching. I don't have any issue. Then thumbs this way, this way, this way shows that I am getting there gradually, but I am struggling. I'm having some issues. There are some things you have to clarify. But a student who does this is showing that, as for me, I have no idea. I don't understand what you are talking about. I have not gotten the lesson, what we normally call the whole show. So when the child does this, it helps the teacher to design an appropriate remediation. Also, this hand signal strategy helps the shy type of student in class, and in fact helps students so that others will not see them as the weaker vessels. Sometimes students feel shy when they are not getting, because sometimes it becomes their name. I remember one school I went, one of the children was called the whole show. The whole show. It simply means that he did not understand what the teacher was teaching, and he has been saying the whole show, and this became his name. So using the hand signal, either this, that, or this, no name calling will come in. The next strategy is the traffic light. Yes, the traffic light. Just get colored cards, like the colors of the traffic light, red, the yellow, and the green. Or you can take a sheet of paper and color them according to. Then after that, you display these cards in front of every child. Now what happens? The child who picks red after a question is posed to show to the class, to the teacher, simply means telling the teacher, please sir, I'm struggling, I don't understand what you are talking about, and I need help. Yes, so when this child picks the red, this is what the child is talking about. A child which picks yellow is telling the teacher that I'm coming gradually, I'm understanding it, but there are some issues. I need some explanation. I need further discussion. But the one who picks the green card to show simply means I'm okay. I'm okay. I fully understand what you are talking about. So this is the traffic light. Now the next assessment for learning strategy you can use is KWL charts. The KWL. Now the KWL is a simple chart where children and teachers feel before, during, and after the lesson. Now the K stands for what the child knows. Now every lesson has a relationship with something the child knows. So you write what the child knows about the lesson or about the concept or about the substance you want to talk about. Then the next thing, we move to the W, which is what the child wants to know. So here you write that simply is the lesson objectives. You write what the children will know by the end of the lesson. Then the L, which is the last part, is what the children have learned. Now, in using this approach, the first two columns is always filled. The first two columns is always filled. That is the K column and the W column, whilst the other column is left. Now, the next assessment for learning strategy is show and tell. Show and tell. Now, during teaching, you can use mini whiteboards or slate or rough work books, you understand, so that every learner can write or draw their answer and show it to you. Yes. So when question is asked, you ask the question. The children are supposed to write or draw the answer to the question you pose. Now, sometimes you can allow them to show it to their peers. Yes. So you can, to check for genuine or to prevent copy works, questions have to follow immediately after the children have presented their work. So after you've asked the question and the children write and they show it to their colleagues or to you, you ask question to see whether truly they did it or they copied. The next assessment for learning is wait time. Wait time. Now, wait time allows learners time to think and therefore to produce answers. Also, not everyone in the class thinks at the same speed or in the same way. So waiting allows every learner to build their thoughts and explore what has been asked. The next strategy the next assessment for learning strategy you can use is learners ask questions. Now, using these strategies, the teacher creates an opportunity for learners to ask questions. You have to give children time for them to ask questions. Yes, you can even define a strategy where you have a question box where children put the questions inside and you pick them and you read. Yes, the next, so you have finished teaching a topic and you want to check children's understanding, you give children piece of papers and you ask them to write any question they have about the topic and put it in the question box or give it to you directly. The eighth assessment for learning strategy is comment only marking. Comment only marking. So comment only marking. Now, in this strategy, the teacher provides learners with a focus for progression instead of a reward or punishment for their ego. This is what grades does. But in this strategy, you don't give grades. No. Grades only reward or punishes students. So grade shows ego. But that is not what we do in comment only marking. In comment only marking, the teacher comments in learners' books. So you give a question and you ask them to write their answers and then you give a comment inside instead of marking. No, you comment on what the child has done. The next strategy, the next assessment for learning strategy is 2 stars and a wish. 2 stars and a wish. Now for peer assessments, ask learners to give 2 stars and a wish. 2 stars, so 2 stars. That may be 2 things, 2 good things about people's work. Maybe this can actually be employed during group work or during creative art activities or where children have exhibited certain skill or talent. So when that is done, you ask the colleagues to give 2 stars and a wish. So 2 stars is to say 2 good things about what has been done and a wish, and then they give a wish, which is them saying ways to improve whatever has been done. So the children present their work. It can be an artwork, it can be anything, and after that, the class is given the chance to give 2 stars and a wish. So in this strategy, the children say 2 nice things about what has been presented, and then they also give a wish, which is what they think can be done in addition to make the work even more better. The last assessment for learning strategy we'll be talking about is debates. Yes, debates. In debate situation, the teacher give children an opportunity to take sides in a question given or in a motion. So children debate and say their mind, they speak their mind, they express their thought on what has been given. Yes. So these and many others are some assessment for learning strategies. Thank you for being part of this discussion. See you on another occasion.